Day in the life, let's see if you really trap. Turn off the auto-tune, let's hear how you really rap. Ha ha, send a location. Come burn up, boy, if you're bad, let's see. Your dad left home from young and you ain't done shit for your mum, oh man.
Alrighty, welcome to the day in the life today. This is a day in the life of a 21-year-old. We're gonna say millionaire in the title, but I'm a little bit off. With that being said, why the fuck are we in the woods? It is currently 7:30 in the afternoon. No, in the morning. You guys saw me do my morning routine, but at 7:30 to 8, I always like to go for a walk, get some good blood flow and all that good jazz. So with that being said, we're gonna hit the walk, and then after that, we have a packed day. More specifically, let's go over what the schedule is gonna look like for today. All right, so pretty much from 8 to, no, not 8. No, yeah, from 8 to 12, I have nothing but meetings. So at 8 to 9, we have the ideation call, which is for the short form editors to show me their storyboards before they actually start working on the videos. From 9 to 9:30, I did not prep the sales team meet, so I have to do that before the sales team meet. However, we have the sales team meet at 9:30 to 10. And then at 10 to 11, we have the parliament, which is what we call the company meeting. And then right after that, we have the NEXUS mastermind call, my favorite call of the week, where I hop on with all the clients and we have some sort of overall presentation, solving the biggest problem within the community. And then directly after that, we go to the gym, get some more work to do, and then we end off the night with a nice dinner. And that is today's schedule. So, very busy day. Fuck, almost forgot. Last night, my creative director also stole my phone and asked you guys to ask questions for me to answer. So after the dinner, I'll go through and answer the questions that you guys have asked. So stay tuned for that. But until then, let's go and hop into today's vlog.
I get bread, all these fucking bands. I was 7 years old, on God, I knew I was the man. Shit dropped that.
My left. All right, what are we looking at? Where are we looking? Here?
No, the left.
The left? Okay. Use these background songs to go viral like clockwork. Use them in your next video. We go over the song examples and we have a CTI. This is gonna be a quick fucking storyboard. I mean, obviously you're not gonna do anything crazy there, and I'm fine with that. Here, I don't feel as if there's a lot of selection. I don't feel as if this is the most creative idea that we could have had. Because right now I'm just looking at an album cover, sound, and then the type of song. I was looking for something that would be extremely unique and creative here though. I don't feel as if that's here. What do you guys think would breed a higher level of innovation in the agency from the three of you? Because it can't be time, someone tell me time. But in the storyboard, how could you guys portray the uniqueness of the video before you guys begin to work on it? Nam, you did a mood board this time, correct?
Yeah, I do the mood board so I can have direction for the graphic. But the storyboard you see is the final decision.
This looks like Devin Jatho. It doesn't look like what Devin Jatho is stepping into. It just looks like who Devin Jatho's always been. And this was safe. Looking at this, I don't feel like this is holy shit, really amazing, creative. It's not a breath of fresh air. It's just what is expected of me. And of you. But that's just something to keep in mind whenever you come into these upcoming videos. Without risk, there is no reward. And I'm at the understanding that you guys have now incentives to get the video done as soon as possible. However, if every single video looks the exact same, that's not going to get the video approved quicker. It's going to get approved long. It's going to take the video longer to get approved. Because at a certain point, I am looking for uniqueness, I'm looking for creativity, and I am looking for the redefinition of what is good. We don't own the finish line if we never push it back. Does that make sense?
Yeah. All right, Dewey's gonna get the video approved tomorrow. Posting schedule is Tuesday, we have the YouTube short combo, so PR's video tomorrow. Wednesday, we have the numbers in your hooks, which is a video from Nam. Nam, when can we get that video approved? Can you get that video approved tomorrow with Mr. Dewey? Cool. Go eat some dinner.
Breakfast.
Go enjoy. Nobody gives a bro. Go eat some dinner. Go eat some dinner, Dewey. Nam, enjoy your night, and I'll see you guys at the Parliament. All right, so I'll put you guys in game real quick. So every single Monday, before the editors actually start working on their videos, what we make them do is we make them do a storyboard. So what this means is, every single week, they will basically map out every single frame of the video for me to look at and approve the ideation for. Because the biggest hindrance on a video getting approved, on time or not, is going to be if the idea was good. If the idea was bad and they spend 4 or 5 days working on the video, then all of a sudden you have to redo a portion of the video. And it's going to delay your video getting approved by multiple days. However, if you get the idea approved before they start working on the video, then the only mistake that can be made is just within the execution. If you don't do the storyboard, then you have mistakes that can be made within the ideation and the execution. However, if you do the storyboard at the beginning, the only problem can be in the execution, and it's much easier to give direction on what to do within the execution rather than the ideation. So every single week, we have this quick little Monday call for an hour. They present to me their ideas. I approve the ideas or make changes if needed. And from there, they go work on the fucking videos and get them approved. So if you currently don't have that, I highly recommend adding that to your company meeting stack, and it will make your team 10 times more efficient.
Rob, I don't know if you guys saw my story recently, reporting a day in the life. You guys are actually being recorded at this current point in time. So if you guys want to say hello to YouTube, you guys can.
Let me know. What's happening, YouTube?
There you go.
What's up, YouTube?
But how can you imagine their situation? And how can you look deeper than the information that they're giving? So for example, Vinny, what is his home life like? What is his actual dreams? He was a baby once.
Like, would you say in terms of like, just like my tonality and like how I present?
I think it's just you being present in the call. You're present as in, if he says anything, you're going to latch onto it. But I don't feel as if you're present as in, I want to hear what this person has to say. I want to understand the situation. Not to understand it as in, I'm going to get some tie downs, but understand it as, this is a human. Here's his problems. He's going through pain. He doesn't necessarily even really understand it yet. And it is my mission to help him understand it so he can make a decision today.
Because I feel like I was doing that well on previous calls, and then maybe the pendulum is just swinging a bit too far again, because I'm like, skill, just give me feedback. Okay, this is the next thing I need to learn on: contextualize numbers, dig the grave, 6 foot grave. And I feel like I'm losing the charm, the warmth of the more kind of connection. So I appreciate you calling that out. I'll work on that moving forward.
Beautiful.
All right, so that was the sales team meet. So every single week, we go over the metrics, what's the sales team performance, all that good jazz, making sure that we're making money and making sure that we can make more money in the next week. I am 8 minutes late to the next meeting, which is the Parliament being the company-wide meeting to where every single person in the company shows up to. So it's one of my favorite meetings throughout the week. And on this meeting, we have a pretty strict structure that we stick to every single week. So at the beginning, we start with new members. So we have a new editor that we have to onboard. So we like to kind of welcome them. After we go over the new members, we'll go into After we go into new members, we'll go over the offboarded. So one thing I'm big on is being transparent with the team. So if there's someone that we fired or someone that left, we like to give them the reason on why they're no longer here and letting them know that they're no longer here. That way people aren't just getting fucking disappeared and eliminated. Then after we go over the offboarded, we'll go into company wins. What are the overall wins for the company? On the media side, what are the overall wins for the company for the clients? And then what are the overall wins for the company on fulfillment? And then after we go over the wins, we go over the updates. So making sure that the company is aligned on this next upcoming week's vision and what we're going to be striving for and completing over the next week. And just kind of making sure they're in the loop on what's going on. Then after the company updates, we go over vision insight. So company updates is more so the vision over the next upcoming week. And vision insights is more so the vision setting for the upcoming year. So for example, we have a company trip coming up in August to where we go to Vietnam. We have a new product coming out, which I can't tell you guys about, but it's just kind of the overall forecast of what we're going to complete this company over the next year, 2 years. That's kind of where I want to align our vision, align the vision for the company. Then after that, we have game time. So every single week we have one game for 10 minutes that has a prize pool of $50. So it's a nice little fun period for me and for the team to get together and kind of compete and play a game. And after that is the Parliament, and then we hop into the NEXUS Mastermind with all the clients. With that said, I'm fucking late, so let's go and join the Parliament.
There we go. There we go.
There we go, we got time here. Cool. Fuck Pierre.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Parliament. It is currently May 2025, 26th, on week 9 out of 12. So, table of contents for today's moment. Same as every other fucking parliament. Company wins.
Yeah.
So, let's start off with the aristocrat wins. First things first, Dewey is now a year older. He's now an old man. Yazir, would you like to start us off?
1, 2, 3.
Which is cool. And that is the personal brand wins. Now for NEXUS community wins, we recently introduced one of the strategies with trial reels last week. The clients are doing pretty fucking good with it. And they recently have been blowing up. They got a video, I think this video's at 300K now, but they had another video at 100K like a couple of days ago. So these guys are doing extremely well. They gained 5K followers within the past week. Jordan joined not too long ago. Within his first 7 days, he had a video get over 100K. He put 82K views on the win. However, that video is not 500K. So he's doing extremely well. And then Stefan, I thought this guy was cool. He joined and he was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Best thing I invested in. And then he even started talking good about the guy on Instagram that was messaging him, aka Mr. Bruno. And he was like, oh my God, Lee, he was amazing. He just made the offer so good, I can't deny X, Y, and Z. This dude's a cool dude. We've had a lot of new clients that join. Some of them, I hear them talk, and I'm like, fuck, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. Not because they're like mean or bad. It's just because intellect, but nobody's joined and I dislike them. So that's the main thing I care about. Everyone that joins, I'm loving, including this guy. And he's loving us. Content researcher dashboard, improved workflow. What this is going to do is it's going to allow for a much better system to get the clients the weekly content care package on time and world class. And also, this might not be a win for some of you guys, but it's definitely a win for Tyrone. I made my first ever script in the Aristocrat Studio, which is our new internal content software that we're going to be using to speed up the overall content process. All right, Yazir, I want you to count down. I have to go. But I need you to count down from 3. Everyone turn on your cameras. Pierre will come back. And then whenever Yazir says 3, say hello, YouTube.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, YouTube.
So much better. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hop off and go to the next call. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next Monday. Mwah.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
See you.
Now that that is out of the way, let's go ahead and go into today's mastermind.
With that, so I'm trying to give some context on, like, before I get to that transition. Is it really just a matter of like use as few words as possible to get that point across so that I can get to that transition?
It's always use as few words as possible. What we're optimizing for is not the amount of value in a video, but the value per second of video.
But either way, this is always going to be the structure for whenever you make a video mentioning someone's home, mentioning that they're fucking up.
All right, guys, is that it? Any questions? Cool. All right, then I'll see you guys on the next Thursday Mastermind. Until then, if you guys have any questions, message me in school, and hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace out, guys. All righty, that is the NEXUS Mastermind. So we have the gym coming up. It's currently 12:25. I can still hear David in the other room. He's still on his Mastermind call. So every single Monday, we have a call with the clients, all the business owners inside NEXUS. However, while they're on the call with me, they send their editors to what we call editor daycare, which is where they hop on the call with David, and David will train them week over week. That way I train the actual business owners, and then their team gets trained by David, and it's a pretty nice little setup. So David's still on that call. He should be done in a couple minutes, and whenever he is done, we'll head off to the gym. Would you like a pre-workout? All right. I realistically don't know what the fuck I was supposed to record. I felt like I had some inspiration earlier. And now I feel kind of pressure to say something important, but I don't really think I will. David? As I make these quick little pre-workout shakes, actually fuck this, I'll shake that in a second. If you guys currently do not use this app, you guys need to use this app. So something I do very often is I use what is called Snipped. So this is what I do on my podcast. Basically it allows you to be able to clip portions of a podcast and kind of get a quick little summary of the podcast. So if you're driving, you're running, you're walking in the gym like we're about to be, and you come across something that's like, fuck, that's good shit, and you want to write it down, but you don't have the time to, you can click a quick little, I make a lot of money, sorry. You can click the quick little snipped button on any podcast. Here, I'll show you. So like, let's say for example, we're listening or watching, here, we'll say Layla Hermosi. So all you have to do is press play, and then you listen to the podcast. You click on create snip, and from that it'll create a quick little summary going over what she's covered within the past couple of seconds. That way you can always get the notes that you want from any podcast that you desire. So it's my quick little tip before the gym. Let me go ahead and check these bad boys up. Let's go and hit the weights.
I'm sorry, she a fucking fan. I get bread, all these fucking bands. I was 7 years old, on God, I knew I was the man. Shit dropped out of school, I ain't never had no fucking plan. Got my boy, he 5'2", but he shoot like NBA Jam. Oh, you need help, tough. I was down bad, I don't recall you ever giving a fuck. Even when I'm on my ass, I
All right, so just got back from the gym, made a quick little coffee, put 3 sugars in there because I'm a degenerate, and I got some cinnamon. But the video guy told me to stop looking away. I'm not reading anything, I just like to look away. Anyways, it is currently 3:38 in the afternoon. We're supposed to get back from the gym around 3, however fucking late, do this fucking vlog. But yeah, I wanna make sure that it is somewhat decent. It's not gonna be perfect and it's not gonna be what I want it to be, but I know it's something that you guys definitely have been desiring and it's something that you guys have asked me for. And I do want to get good at this and I do want to get good at vlogging. With that being said, yap session over. I have a lot of things to do until the point of dinner. We have video reviews primarily. So typically whenever I get back from the gym, every single day, I will go through video reviews. Now in the content software, for the NEXUS members, they have like this little button in the content software so they can upload a video review every single week for me to look at and then basically break down second by second and analyze it and show them what optimizations can be made to their content to take their content to the next level. So typically that's around 20 minutes per video review. I like to spend a decent amount of time on them. So I got probably about an hour and a half of video reviews for the community, answering the questions, all that good jazz. Then after that, we have internal feedback. So I have to give feedback to the media team for the short form and the long form and all that good jazz. And then other than that, Mondays are pretty light. Most of the work on Mondays is gonna be in the beginning of the day for all the meetings, but afterwards, it's pretty light. So we'll do all that feedback and then after that, we'll go to dinner. And then apparently you guys asked some questions on my Instagram stories that I was unaware of. So I'll be answering those after dinner. So let's go and hop into some video reviews and get to this money.
Same nigga around me getting changed and ain't dangerous. Different color riches in the picture Power Rangers. Come to fucking these bitches and getting this cat and we ain't strangers. 200 on the dash, been through the hood like I.
Alrighty, that ends off the video reviews for today. So I just finished off the last video review for Mr. Hakeem. I think his last name is Hong. I think that's how you pronounce it. Either way, he's a barber coach. So a lot of you guys probably saw him on Instagram before. But just to give you a glance at what a video review actually looks like. What I'll do is I will go on frame.io, which is where we give revisions for editors and all that good jazz, but it's also really good for just leaving comments at specific times. So I'm able to leave a comment to every single second to the video and kind of just break down and analyze each second, telling him what he could have done better. And I'll split the comments in between too. So I'll leave comments for his editor to train him up as well, but then I'll also leave comments for Hakeem. Now for Hakeem specifically, his videos are pretty fucking good. So most of the improvements that we're going to make is going to be within the script. So I feel as if I need to go deeper into what improvements can be made. I'll sit there and I'll go through his script line by line and then just leave in-depth comments on exactly what should be changed moving forward and what optimizations we could have made to lead to a more desirable outcome of the video. And then after that, once I have all of that prepared, I'll create a quick little loom. I guess not that quick because it's 11 fucking minutes, but yeah, I try to cover everything as concise as possible, but I foresee this to be the most valuable thing that I do throughout the day for the clients. So I finished up with all of the video reviews. The only thing I have left is to give feedback to the media team. So I'm gonna go ahead and give some feedback for the media team. Then I will get sexy for dinner tonight. So be prepared for that.
Same nigga around me getting changed and ain't dangerous. Different color riches in the picture Power Rangers. Come to fucking these bitches and getting this cat and we ain't strangers.
Hey Devin.
Yeah.
Don't forget to put your vigors on game. Hey Devin.
No. Come on. Don't worry, David. I got you. Come on. Take you for a walk. Let's see what grab this, put it back in there. All right. So what specifically do you think the viewers should be put on game for?
I think the most weird will be having those shoes, the golden gooses, and then all those many columns.
So we'll start with the gooses. So if you're unaware, this is a shoe brand, very expensive shoe brand, and they come pre-dirty. So it's not like I'm a fucking slob and I just go outside. I don't go outside, I work all day. They just come looking like this. They cost $500 depending on which ones you get. So of course I have more expensive ones. But a lot of people ask, why would you spend $500 on dirty shoes? I have other shoes that are more expensive. For example, the off-white 4s are at home, but like let's say for example the Travis's. These are probably $1,000 pair of shoes. However, you don't see any creases, you don't see any dirt, and that's because I don't fucking wear them. But the Gooses, you spend $500 on the Gooses, and you don't feel any guilt wearing them or getting them dirty just because they already came pre-dirty. That's why I like the Gooses, because you actually don't feel any guilt wearing them. And then also, so if you know, you know. With the Travis's, it's kind of if you know, you know. But with the Gooses, it's if you know, you know. Not many people know this is a limited edition. I like the look of them, and they're my favorite shoe. And then you said the colognes. For the colognes, it's really just personal preference. It also depends on time of year. So for example, I have a lot of winter colognes here right now. All the other winter colognes are at home. Like let's say for example, it just depends on the time of day. Like it depends on the time of day, it depends on the season. So this is more so of a winter cologne, Blonde Amber. This is the cologne I'm wearing today.
What's the difference between winter cologne and summer cologne?
If the best way to explain it is if you were going for a run. You run, actually no, you're going for a run, it's 100 degrees outside, Fahrenheit, we don't speak in poverty metrics, so whatever that is in Celsius, editor will put it on screen, but it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit, you go for a 30-minute run, and then you come back inside. What do you want to smell whenever you come inside? And that's kind of the litmus test on, is it summer or is it winter? If you smell something and you think, that would feel like a lot and it would feel really heavy to breathe in after the run, then it's probably going to be more so of a winter cologne, things like tobacco, things like oud, all that good jazz. On the flip side, summer colognes are typically more citrusy. They're typically fresher. I'm pretty sure they're called blue fragrances, if you will. So more aquatic and all that good jazz. So that's the difference between summer or winter. At least my litmus test between summer and winter. Anyways, 3 favorite cologne brands is going to be Clive Christian. This is expensive for no reason. The second brand that I like the most, I feel like it's kind of cliche to say, but it's going to be Parfum Mr. Marley. It's probably the more popular niche fragrance brands out there. And then just due to the sheer amount of colognes that I have of it, I think Creed is probably going to be number 3. And my favorite Creed cologne is going to be this one. I don't know how to say this shit. But I like this one. This one's fresh, it's nice. And that is my current collection here in Austin. Is that all the game that you're looking for, David?
Yep.
Cool. Then let's go and get off to dinner. So in Austin, they have a very, very big presence with Waymo. And Waymo is an automated driving service. It's like Uber, but without a fucking driver. They have these everywhere. And they're actually pretty fucking good. If I could buy a Waymo, I definitely would. This the right one? This is the right one.
Hey there, Devin.
There's no one in the front seat. You ready for this? Let's start riding. Music or no music?
Music.
Hell yeah.
What you're going to put?
Hip hop and R&B.
Cool. Okay, so let's start with the Q&A, some questions, and then we finish after the dinner. Sounds good?
Cool.
Cool. So first question from KDOLTO. How much of your day is routine and how much of your day is random?
How much of my day is routine? How much of my day is random? I want to say 90% of my day is routine. However, it's probably not realistic. If it's how much of my day is planned out, I would say almost every hour of every single day. How many of those hours are actually spent on those tasks? That's a question. That's a different question. But the majority of my day is planned out every hour of every single day.
Cool. That's also with this question from Adi Gomez. How many hours a day do you work?
Every hour of every day.
All day?
All day. We wake up at 7 to 8. We have the morning routine shit. And then from about 8 to 8 p.m. it consists of work. And we're supposed to cut off work at 8 p.m. but typically it lasts until 10 and then you get ready for bed.
Cool. Adam Mohammed, he said, how do you manage scripting, calls, and living your life?
Just don't be a bitch. There's work to do, but there's always, I mean, it's just prioritization. Everyone has the same amount of hours in the day. It's just what do you prioritize? I don't prioritize living my life.
What supercar do you own?
A Kia Optima 2020.
You don't have a Ferrari,
Yeah,
Porsche?
No, not yet. Soon, but not yet. I want to get a wagon soon. But right now, it's the same car from high school and it serves me well.
What is the most important part of the day for you?
Deep work. First 4 hours. So from 8 to 12, I want it to be silent. No one talks to me, no one messages me, no one. Just I don't want to know anything. If something's wrong, I don't give a shit. Give me my first 4 hours so I can script, and that is the most important part of my day.
Cool. And last one before we go to dinner.
Cool.
How do you hire and train up the best editors for Nexus?
This is a good question. Number one, I have a very handsome individual holding the camera that has a lot of credit to take for that. But how do I hire and train the best editors for Nexus? Personally, I don't know how to edit. I've never edited a video a day in my life. I have no fucking clue how to use Adobe After Effects, Premiere Pro, anything of the such. So it's not that I sit there on some sort of creative geniuses and I'm gonna tell them, hey, put a shadow behind that, hey, do this, do that, do that. I think it's just more so because I have such a high standard that I will hold them to, and there will be no exception for that standard. It is either you reach it or you get fired. And then we do have a high churn rate within Nexus, so it's not that everyone is successful, but the ones that come in, they're intelligent and they're willing to work and they're willing to become some of the best in the world. It is just holding them to that standard and letting them hit the potential that they know that they can hit. And that's pretty much it. I can't say that I tell them what to do. I just more so hold them to a standard, and it is up to them to reach that such standard. So I think the credit goes to more so the person holding the camera and then the editors, not me.
Cool, cool, cool. So we are here. Your favorite place in Austin.
Yeah, we are in Corinne's right now. It's a nice place. It is from a walkable distance from the apartment, so it's like typically where we want to go. They have a nice daycare. That's all we get. So, yeah.
Cool. So first question.
More questions?
Yeah, more questions.
Okay.
Luke C says, what is your favorite breakfast?
I don't fucking eat breakfast.
You don't?
Element water.
Just water?
Element water.
And what was that you put in your water
This
today?
is a good question. So we have a client in Nexus. His name is Charles Barber. And he owns a supplement company called Crucial 4. So I have an M breakfast every single morning. What an M breakfast is it has a bunch of different shit in it. I'm not gonna try to tell you what's in it because I don't fucking know. Charles can do that. But what is in it, that's the main reason I drink it, is called cacao. And he put me on to how beneficial it is to drink cacao. So I drink cacao every single morning and breakfast from our client supplement brand.
That's good.
That is good.
Cool. How do I write the scripts for my clients if I'm not the subject matter expert?
I like this question. Who asked this question?
Productive path.
The answer to the question is you fucking don't. There's at no point in time to where you should be writing the scripts for the clients because you're not an expert within the subject matter. Whenever it comes to creating educational based content, the content is based upon the education that you give. So if that is true for your clients, then why the fuck would you be the one writing the scripts? What we do is we have the client write the base script. So they basically, we give them the idea whenever you used to do the done for you service. We don't do it very often now, but whenever you used to do the done for you service, we would give the clients the idea, map out the idea for the clients, and then they would write out the base scripts. That way I get not only their language, but then also their expertise. And then from that, they can send that base script for me to optimize that base script to be optimized for social media performance. And in that, they then have a good script that they can record. But at no point in time should you ever be scripting for a client.
From Harsh, how many times to year?
Did I read that right? How many times do I jerk? Wolf of Wall Street actually had a good clip on that.
You jerk off? Do I jerk off? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think whenever we start to get into the game of content, I think twice a day is mandatory. I'm an overachiever though, as I am in everything. So probably around 3 to 4 times a day. 5 times are the days really stressful.
Orestes asks, how can I convert a viewer to a buyer?
This is a good question. This is the whole point of making content in the first place for us. How can you convert a viewer into a buyer? So I'm under the belief that you should be giving value first. A lot of people think differently, especially people that come from paid ads, but I'm a believer in building the perception of value. Because once you create a perception of value, especially around your free content, it is human nature to think that an individual's paid content is more valuable than the free content. So the higher the perception that you can build in your free content of your information or your service, then what that's going to do is it's going to create a bigger wall of the viewers trying to look over that wall of payment of holy shit. Whatever the fuck is behind this wall has to be amazing. And the bigger the wall, the more the curiosity of what's behind the wall. For example, if you walk up to the Great Wall of China, if you didn't know what the fuck that is, the first question is, well, what the fuck is behind that? However, if the wall is 1 foot, and I can see directly over the wall, it's like I don't have any curiosity to learn more. So the question that you should be asking yourself is, how can I make that wall higher? And how can I raise the perception of my education, of my expertise, by giving more within your free content and giving more valuable content? Well, creating more valuable content. You're good. Thank you. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Oh yeah, editor 10K a month, less than, more than. Anyways, I'm done with the fucking questions. I'm gonna dig in. You like my gay little fucking microphone you got me rigged up on?
Cool.
So, quick little scenery change. As you can see, we were back in the panty dropper. I know you don't know what that means yet. That is the name of the penthouse, the panty dropper. You'll see that in another video if it's not already up. If it is, it's on the screen. But long story short, it's fucking windy outside, so let's go and hop back into the Q&A to end off this vlog.
From Growth with Ola, how do you do research?
That is making the assumption that I do the fucking research. I personally do not do my own research anymore. I did it for a long time. However, I now have a content researcher. His name is The Prodigy. If you are in NEXUS, you know who that is. But yeah, we have a content researcher that goes and finds content ideas for me every single week. And from that, to have a good selection of videos that I can create. Now, how I get research or how I get ideas now outside of him, I'm assuming you don't have a content researcher if you're not in NEXUS. The way that I get content ideas now is either just by doing the thing, as in a client will be asking me a question and then I'll just like sit there and go, fuck, that's a good video idea. Or typically it's through serendipitous ideation. Serendipitous meaning that I am on the quest of learning something new outside of content. However, in that quest of learning something new, I make a correlation within that learning of like, oh, this is a really good idea for content creation or for content marketing. And that's where I get, I would say 50% of my ideas now. So it's either in the quest of trying to learn more, or it's just coming from the Prodigy, aka my content researcher.
Cool. From Ricard, where to start when don't know anything about social media?
What's his name?
Ricard.
Ricard? Ricard, that's a horrible fucking question. I know nothing about you. I wish I could tell you a more directional answer. However, the answer I'm gonna give you is make a fucking video and post. I mean, that's how you get started without knowing anything about social media. You just make fucking videos. I don't know anything about you, so I can't give you that directional of an answer. But the only way to start is to start.
Cool. From Lucky Jadav, what is the real secret to viral reel?
What is the real secret to a viral reel? I would also say this is another low agency question because you're looking for some sort of secret. There is no such thing as a secret. It is purely, is your video worth other people's time? And if that is true across a large audience of people that are interested within your video, then the video will be pushed to those individuals because the platform is financially incentivized to do so. If that is not true, then the question just becomes, how can I make my video more valuable to be worth more? That way people are willing to give their time to learn whatever I have to teach in my video.
From Bell Transmissions, when starting out, should you be the editor or hire someone else?
That's highly dependent on how much money you make. If you make more than 10K a month, you're at the point where you have the capital to leverage it against your time and outsource to an editor to edit your content, because it's going to be better and also you don't have to spend the time doing so. However, if you don't have that capital, then you have to edit the fucking videos yourself. And that would be my framework of should you edit or should you not.
Cool. Okay, from Leigh, tell us your story from the ground up.
That's a deep question. My story from the ground up. I think something I would put into perspective on why I am the way I am, at least from what you guys see. I'm an only child. so I'm used to being kind of more so introverted. Devin Jatha from the ground up. I would say growing up, I never wanted to be average. That doesn't mean that I've always been an overachiever. That definitely is not the case. I was a pretty lazy child, but I definitely do remember myself not ever wanting to be average. I always wanted myself to be exceptional. That's the only way that I could ever view myself. Whether that was true or not at the time, whether that might be, whether that's true or not now, I always viewed myself as an exceptional, not as an exceptional human being, but someone that I expected myself to be exceptional. So at the ages of 13, I was a Fortnite player. So I played Fortnite, and I actually made money doing so.
Oh my God.
So what I used to do is I basically, you got $5, I got $5, I got $5 that I can beat you. And that was kind of the way that I made money. I just wagered to other kids, and I was pretty fucking good at the game. So I started making money through Fortnite. Eventually, I made enough money to where it's like, okay, I got a little bit of money now. It was kind of the purpose. However, I wasn't the best in the world. And you only really made real money if you were the best in the world. I might have been top 100, but I was never the best in the world. So I ended up doing Fortnite optimizations. What that means is I would go on to other Fortnite players' computer and then basically change their Windows settings to make their computer run faster. Now, did I know what the fuck I was doing whenever I was doing that? No, not one fucking bit. But I knew that it worked, and I knew that people would pay me as long as it did work. So word got around, I started doing some marketing on Twitter, giving away free shit, and I got the attention that I was looking for to be able to sell that $25 optimization service. So I was probably 16 at that point, and I was making around $25 per optimization. It took me about 20 minutes to do an optimization. So assuming I was fully booked out, which was rare, I was making around $75 an hour. I was happy. And then from the ages of around 16 and a half and 17, I started doing Fortnite cheats. So what that means is I gave a developer some money now that I actually had a business going, and I had that developer make a Fortnite cheat. And in that Fortnite cheat, I was probably one of the biggest cheat sellers at that point in time. It was called Private Aim, with over 10,000 members in the Discord. And that was the first time that I ever started making decent money. I was making $1,000 a day, of course not consistently, but I remember vividly my first $1,000 day when I was selling Fortnite cheats. My parents were like, what the fuck? And that was kind of my first taste of, I can do this shit. Then I got a cease and desist, and that shit went down the fucking drain. So after the Fortnite cheats, money started drying up a little bit, and I had to go get a real job. So I went to go door knock for a while. I was a solar salesman. I'm knocking your door, basically go, oh my God, your roof is empty. You're wasting a lot of money. How much are you spending money? How much are you spending on electric bills, X, Y, and Z? I can help you save $100. Would you like to hear it? They say yes, and then from that, I would book them in for appointments. I was the appointment center. I was okay, you know what I mean? I was 18, I had a nice smile to me. I felt as if I was pretty warm, and I did okay. But it was never something I wanted to do for a long period of time. I knew that, and it became more and more evident as the time went on. In the summer, it wasn't bad. I was getting kind of tan. I was burning hella calories. I was looking sexy. Summer, I wasn't hating the job realistically. However, when winter came, fuck. You knock doors, the fucking knuckles would hurt. Your knuckles would turn purple. People were meaner in the winter, and it just got to a point to where I knew I had to change something. So I was watching Shark Tank one night, and there was a clip from Mr. Wonderful. And Mr. Wonderful asked the guy that was pitching them at the time, how many social media followers do you guys have? Because they were getting a lot of sales from organic. And they said whatever number, and the fucking sharks weren't impressed. But in that moment, I thought to myself, if I could help that dude say that he had 100,000 more followers, he would have gotten that investment, and I think that he would have paid me to do that for him. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do that. And the rest was history. I started making some videos, 1 video, 2 video, 3 video, and I went to Hawaii. I came back, made 3 more videos, and on my 7th video, I got 1 million views. After that, there was a guy named Juma, I'll never forget this, he's Malaysian. He was a Forex trader, and he gave me 4 grand. Why he gave me 4 grand? I don't fucking know. But as soon as he gave me that 4 grand, I quit my job entirely. The next day I made another 6 grand, and that was my first ever 10K month. At the age of 18, I was making 10K a month. At the age of 19, I made my first 100K month. And at the age of 20, I had my first 100K day. And now we're here.
And the penny dropper.
And the fucking penny dropper. So that might not have been the most eloquent explanation of my life, but I'll definitely say that's the general overview.
Good. Good history.
Good history. All right. Do you have any more questions, Mr. David?
No more questions.
Cool. Then I would say that's a perfect place to end the vlog. With that being said, thank you guys for coming out, and I'll see you in the next one.
Subscribe, all that shit.
Fuck. Subscribe, like the video. Wait, hold on. Subscribe for more value.
There you go.